What did you guys make of that game? For me, I don't actually know. I finished my fan forum, right? And I was speaking to Beth, and it almost felt like I wasn't as upset as I thought I would be. It doesn't actually feel like that worse of a loss because of the scoreline. But again, it's a performance. How do Manchester United score 3 goals with that performance is what's weird. Like, the team doesn't perform well, but we end up scoring goals one way or another. Is that a credit to us, or is that a discredit to the other team? Because if you ask me, Bayern Munich are going to be kicking themselves. So look at Marcus Rashford in the first goal. Andre Onana is at fault. Get involved in the comments as well. Andre Onana is most definitely at fault. But when you look at Rashford's positioning as Sané cuts in, there's 2 players. Reguilon has to mark the overlap, make sure obviously he keeps his offside line. Rashford is now the man trying to close in on Leroy Sané. And watch where Rashford is after Sané's gone there. Do you guys see? You see what I mean? And this is something that you have to pick up on. And I've got a friend of mine who's a winger, by the way, professional winger. Can't tell you who he plays for, whatever. But he saw that as well. Marcus Rashford should be putting a challenge in. And he probably doesn't get booked if he puts a good, decent enough challenge in. He's just gliding past. And how is this acceptable is the biggest concern. At least 20% of the blame falls on Marcus Rashford here. Andre Onana is the main culprit. Don't forget. Andre Onana is most definitely the main culprit. But how is Marcus Rashford allowed to do these activities on the pitch and not get... Look at him. Look at Eriksen. Lethargic. Not ready to put a challenge in. And this is at 27th minute. Football is the game, says Faz. Honest question, are we winning majors with Bruno as our captain? He gets held so much high regard by the fan base, like he's David Silva reincarnated. I've said it again and again. We have this thing about holding certain players of ours so high up when they haven't actually achieved anything with Manchester United. That's one. And 2, I'm glad that we're in the Champions League. Of course I am. But I'm also glad that we're in the Champions League is because you're competing with the best of the best in the world. And when that happens, you see levels. There is levels to football. And before you start putting world-class attachment to certain players, and I'm a big culprit of that because I did that with Marcus Rashford last season and it bit me back. But Bruno Fernandes versus Jamal Musiala, Bruno Fernandes versus Maddison, Bruno Fernandes versus Odegaard, Bruno Fernandes versus Kevin De Bruyne. Look at the sheer difference in levels. But people will tell you Bruno Fernandes versus Luxembourg. Oh, look at Bruno Fernandes in international duty. He put a good ball in today, got his assist. Casemiro headed it in. People will look a lot into that, but the fact is, as a captain, he's supposed to be, as some people say, or some people claim, he's the best player on the pitch. And people are not willing to have difficult conversations. They're uncomfortable with having these difficult conversations. He doesn't have any technical ability in terms of beating a man 1v1. He can't hold the ball off. He's not press resistant. His set pieces are at times diabolical. In the first half, he had a shot, if I'm not mistaken, that went on the 5th tier of Allianz Arena, and I don't even know if they have 5 tiers. I am going to blame Erik ten Hag for that because it's his job for him to analyze these moments with the players. It's his job to bring this up. It's the analyst's job. It's the individual coach's job. It's the defensive coach's job. It's the attacking coach's job. It's everybody's job as a collective to upskill the players in those positions to not do these mistakes. And you can't say it's a lack of IQ. These are professional players playing at the highest level of football. And number 2, Andre Onana has to do better. I said this early on, before we even signed him. I think it was on the fan forum. I said this loud and clear. Brace yourselves for Andre Onana's mistakes. Brace yourselves. Manchester United this season, 5 games, 10 goals. This is in domestic leagues. Inter Milan, 24 games, 24 goals conceded. Ajax, 6 games, 10 goals. Ajax, 20 games, 15 goals. 24 games, 21 goals. 33 games, 28 goals. 33 games, 32 goals, 32 games, 20 goals. There's a good few of you in the chat. Can someone add all of these up and find out what percentage of goals he's conceding? Is it 95%, 97% of the time? What percentage of the time is he conceding goals? Can someone do the math for me? I could do it, but it'd just take me time. I'd rather someone else do it in the chat and let me know. But that stat tells you what? And that is over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons. Fantastic player on the ball. No denying that. Nobody can sit here and deny it. But the clean sheet, look, he's failed to keep a clean sheet in 21, 22, 9, 8, 15, he does well. He does well in 18, 19, 12, 15 again, he does well. But you can't be competing with David De Gea. In 22-23 season, in the Premier League, David has kept 17 clean sheets. In 21-22, he's kept 8. So the worst season that we've had, he's kept 8 clean sheets. And Andre Onana's kept 8 in Inter Milan. So David De Gea's worst season, he's kept 8 clean sheets. And Andre Onana's kept 8, 9, 8. Let that sink in. Again, I'm sitting here telling you that Andre Onana is good for the team. I'm sitting here and telling you that. He's good for the team. 2021, David De Gea kept 9 clean sheets in the Premier League. 1920, he kept 13 clean sheets in the Premier League. 18-19, he kept 7, which was a very bad season for him. And 17-18, under Jose Mourinho, he kept a total of 18 clean sheets. In 16-17, again, he's kept 14. Double digits, regularly double digits. And this is why I tell you guys, get ready and brace yourselves for the sheer amount of goals Manchester United are going to concede under Andre Onana. He's going to be better for us going forward, for sure, but he's going to concede a lot of goals. And that's the purpose of this message and this stat. Dalot's had an okay performance. At times, he looked very bad. I think the second goal was definitely he could have done better, without shadow of a doubt. He made some crucial blocks. He tried to play the ball forward, but there's numerous times where he played the ball backwards when he shouldn't need to. On the other hand, the Reguilon, so direct, going forward, constantly bombing up and down that pitch, supporting Marcus Rashford during attacking phases as well. But Reguilon is playing like his career depends on each game when he plays for Manchester United. He's not a Manchester United player. He's clearly a Spurs player who's had a very bad loan spell, who didn't get into the Spurs squad. He must have been 3rd or 4th choice fullback, and he's come here to rejuvenate his career. Bayern Munich versus Manchester United today. And Jadon Sancho, 1 hour before kickoff, is playing FIFA with YouTubers online. Yeah, factual. Images came out of him playing FIFA online. As a player, you've been dropped from the squad because of you. Do you know the situation? What happened? So the manager said publicly after a game that Jadon Sancho has not been training to the level I want him, so he's not been in the squad. 35 minutes after that interview, Jadon Sancho put a tweet on Twitter saying, "I will not take lies on my name. I feel like I have been made a scapegoat. I trained well. I believe I trained well. I'll keep fighting for the badge and keep fighting for the shirt, whatever. And he left that tweet on public for nearly a week, if not a week, nearly a week. And that tweet got like 60 odd million views, plus more. Obviously, it circled around the whole internet. Ten Hag, a few days later, dropped him from the squad, told him go train with the academy. He's not in the squad. Today, 1 hour before kickoff, you know how normally players will put a picture saying, "Go on, lads, supporting you, good luck." He's playing FIFA, FC24, the new FIFA, with content creators online. And you and I both know, players will tell people, "Yo, don't put this out anywhere. I'll play with you, but don't put it out. Make sure it doesn't go out." But it's gone out. And he's played FIFA with few people online. So he's been online. Huh? What do you mean statement? So I'm speaking to a professional player. He's a winger. He's a professional player. He's played against Manchester United. I'm not going to tell you who, but he's played against Manchester United. So this is what he has to say. Go on. So he's almost trying to show like he doesn't care. And what are you saying? The word? The hate is not getting to it. And what's the word you said? Statement. And would you do that? If you wanted to play for Manchester United and you've been dropped, would you make that sort of statement? Or is that a statement of a player who wants to leave and doesn't care? If you wanted to play, you wouldn't, right? Right. But you don't care enough. An hour before Champions League game, first Champions League game of the season, you're playing FIFA. And I don't have any problem. You know me. I don't have any problem for you to enjoyment. But you know you could have told the guy, "Don't put this out anywhere. Let me enjoy. Let me cool off 1 hour and then I'll watch the game." But he's let that happen. You think it's not that deep? I don't think it's not that deep in terms of he's not in the squad. But I also think it's not that deep because he's going to get sold at this rate. That's a good point. Because Jadon Sancho's not in the squad, if he was doing anything at all, it would have blown up. Let's say he's gone for a coffee. It would have blown up. I think Casemiro needs to get rotated. I said that before on the forum. I think Casemiro is about time that we bring Amrabat in. Mason Mount as well. We need to figure out how to use these players and who's going to hold bench and who's going to be available for rotation. But Casemiro hasn't been the player this season so far. We've seen Casemiro jogging, away from players that he should be marking. Eriksen as well, leaving his runners. And in the first half, we saw Eriksen pressing really high up with Bruno Fernandes, leaving a huge gaping hole in the midfield. And I was like, don't get sucked in. But I don't know why they did that. It might be a manager's thing. Diogo Dalot chasing Jamal Musiala, who's just gliding past players. Absolutely gliding past players. And he tries to get something on it. But the funny thing is, look at where Casemiro is here. Look at where Lindelof is. Look at where Dalot is. And look at where Casemiro is. And look at the gap. Look at the sheer amount of gap between Bayern player there next to Casemiro, Bayern player behind Martinez, which is Harry Kane, and then you have another player here just outside the box as well. But look at the whole gap. Look at the sheer amount of space, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 Bayern players, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Man United players. And again, look at the sheer gap between everything, and that is very, very concerning. Very, very concerning. How is that being allowed? How are we getting away with it? And again, I'm gonna bring the next screenshot up. The next Manchester United player jogging and trotting, and these are minute details that Manchester United analysts and Ten Hag has to get into. So why, by the time the ball has left his foot, that's when Eriksen's getting to the player, and it's too little, too late. Look at where he ends up. He ends up between two players, and this is how I mean there's levels to being a midfielder. And look at how glides past everyone, and look at how many players we have behind the ball, and look at where Rashford is. You have, in essence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players behind the ball, including Eriksen as well, you could say. That's 8. But Marcus Rashford, look at where he is. Again, it's probably a managerial thing for allowing Marcus Rashford to stay out of defensive duty. And Leroy Sané turned the burners on, went past his marker, ended up with the ball, and Leroy Sané should be scoring that goal. And Bayern Munich are probably going to say there should be someone in the box to tap it in. I mean, look at this phase here, for example. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players behind the ball. As the ball progresses from the wing, it's 1, 2, 3 versus 4. So where is everyone else? This is the maddest thing of it all. Where is all the other players? Why are Manchester United players not? Look at the gap. Look at the space. Look, ball is here. Let me make the screen bigger for you guys. Ball is here, right? Ball gets played in. Scott McTominay, Garnacho, Rashford, right? 3 people behind the ball. Huge gap here, as you can see. Look at how the ball is gone just from a single tap and a single turn. And again, what's my man doing here? It's funny. It's very funny the way Manchester United play. Why there's what is this? What is this gap here? This is where he crosses the ball. Runner, there you go. As you can see, he's ready to run. He's ready to go. You're probably seeing it here. Nobody closing him. Flat-footed. Lindelof is obviously preparing himself, bracing himself for the ball coming in. Look at Rashford. Nice and easy. Obviously, he's not involved in this phase. Scott McTominay. He's just come on the pitch, fresh legs. Garnacho. Again, fresh legs. And Bruno Fernandes. Fantastic touch from the player. Brought it down really well. Now, should Andre Onana be coming off his line? Yes or no? Comment down below. Right there. Do you think Andre Onana should be coming out? Yes or no? Even here, should Andre Onana be coming out? I'm going to do more breakdowns like this. If you enjoyed this though, make sure you like the video as well.